just talking about electricity off the microphone, and it's World Environmental Day, and I am just asking myself, do you realize that the power problem in Nigeria is a major environmental hazard? I mean, it's a very unfortunate situation, but this is the problem that we have come to live with. Regime upon regime, republic upon republic. I don't know when this situation in Nigeria is going to be fixed. I don't even know why it is difficult to fix, because there are countries where you hear that power doesn't ever go off, and you start to ask yourself, or do they have a little bit of witchcraft handling their power sector? Because why is it so impossible for us to have a working power sector in Nigeria? And of course, we're going to take a look at some of the issues we are having, not just in Nigeria, but in Anambra State, as it is World Environmental Day. Good morning to you and welcome to the Polity. Today, Friday, the 5th of June, 2026. Frank, thank God it's Friday. I just realized it's Friday and I feel good. Good morning.
So good morning. So should I expose you?
I don't understand.
Should I expose? Just talk to me. Talk to me. Let me know what I'm going to do.
It depends on what you know.
It depends. Okay, so let me spare the blushes, okay? For reasons best known to me. Well, it's Friday, of course, and we are already in the weekend. So those people who work from Monday to Fridays, they expect to stay home tomorrow. But people like us who work around the clock, do we actually count weekends? People who are in essential services, do they count weekend? So it is what it is, but all the same, the only good thing there is that weekends could be more flexible for you.
Absolutely, that's it.
You might have time to be able to go, do one or two things. So that's one thing about weekend. Aside the weekend, talked about the power sector in Nigeria. The kind of challenge we have had over years since independence in 1960 till date. Nigeria is yet to go beyond 5,000 capacity generation in terms of power. And look at countries like in South Africa, Egypt, Algeria, even Mauritania, Mauritius, and what have you not. They are up there when it comes to power. And anybody who understands what power does in any economy knows that once you get your power well fixed, other things are going to follow suit, because you can't talk about industrialization without having your power sector fixed. That's why here, if you open a very small business, what you spend in running the business could become more than what you have as your gain, because you have to provide power for yourself, either going for solar or going for generator or what have you. So the issue we have with our power sector has been almost perpetual, and we're hoping that in the coming years, government should be able to muster the resolve, whatever is the albatross, to be able to dissolve it in court, so that we'll be able to have a headway in our power sector. And interestingly, 2 days ago, I saw a statement that came from NEC, the body in charge of electricity regulation in Nigeria, directing this goes to pay compensation to power customers who were on tariff plan A, who did not enjoy up to 18 to 20 hours of supply between February and March. And they said they're going to pay them compensation in terms of giving them free energy units. I do not know when we are going to start to benefit from that, because the time frame given to them is almost past. So I do not know when this course will begin to give us those compensation, because for me, I live where we are in the category band A, and since last year December, towards the end of December, I can't remember any day we had power supply up to 10 hours in a day. So we're waiting for discourse, in this case First Power, to do the needful. We then talk about the World Environment Day, observed every June 5, to raise awareness and inspire action for environmental protection, because we know that the earth we live in, if we abuse it, is going to take revenge on all of us. And if you look around us, you see that it's actually doing that revenge on us. Say in Anambra State, we have so many environmental challenges, the erosion and the rest. And interestingly, yesterday, the Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Clem Sagri, he had a press conference in Oka ahead of the day, and he said something about what is going to happen in the coming days. He said in the coming days that the state government is going to go around to check mechanic workshops that are not fenced. And he is saying that any mechanic workshop that is not fenced, very soon government is going to clamp down on that, because look at the Anambra Environmental Law of 2024, you will see a provision that stipulates that any mechanic workshop must be fenced in order to enhance the aesthetics of Anambra State. So let me just rest for now.
All right, then. Dr. Tony Olisambeki is here with us as well. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, the good people of Southeast. Good morning, in Anambra. Good morning, in Donetcha. Good morning, in the Osumo. Good morning, everyone under the reach of our voice. It's a very beautiful Friday morning. We say thank God it's Friday. Today being the 5th day in the month of June in the year 2026. As we are talking about World Environment Day, celebrated every June 5th to encourage awareness and actions for the protection of the environment. It is the largest global environmental awareness event led by the United Nations Environment Program. And I'm aware that this was first established by the United Nations General Assembly in 1972 during the historic United Nations Conference on the Human Environment held in Stockholm, Sweden. And that very conference was the first major international meeting focused on environmental issues. Here in Nigeria, we are back to look at our environment. We have the worst pollution on earth. Take it or leave it. Are you going to talk about air pollution? Are you going to talk about environmental pollution? When we talk about environment is the space we occupy. That's environment for you. The space we occupy. The other day, we are talking about open defecation. Remember when we talked about it? And we did say that local government should commit to mobile toilets as a way to go against this issue of open defecation. Why we are not saying some of these physics is because of rainy season. Because once it rains, it washes off some of these debris. But it doesn't end at that, because they're going to come back. And if you talk about environment, you're going to talk about even climate change, biodiversity loss. And also you're going to talk about deforestation, plastic waste reduction, polythene bags everywhere, sachet water, use sachet water. These things are discarded. I've seen people, most times I've seen it. I find it difficult as a person to drop something on the floor if it's not right inside the trash can. And there are people that once they consume anything, they throw it off the window.
Yesterday I witnessed, and I was asking myself, this bus driver, and you slow down, no? Driver, you slow down. And a sane human being that complains that Nigeria is not good, Onitsha is dirty, will fling something out of your bus.
That is very unfortunate and appalling. And there are people that will tell you, because they should provide alternative. Of course, why? We know they should. But in the meantime, you shouldn't urinate anywhere you see, because there is no alternative. Government has a responsibility to ensure that mobile toilets are everywhere, scattered around from places. And when we talk about government, these are things local governments can do. But situations where you don't find any, it does not justify you urinating anywhere you see, because there is no one, or there's none. And we've said it many times, Nigeria faces the worst environmental degradation. Nigeria. And we've seen it many times. Some states that have been doing so much to cut or contain or even curtail some of these degradations. But what do we do? I don't want to talk about oil spillage. I don't want to talk about some of the things, those in riverine communities or those in oil areas, Niger Delta areas. What if it's true? There are people that will defecate inside a river. Very appalling. And most times, the river, it flows. There are so many things we do. There are even some security agents that will extrajudicially kill people. They will throw them inside the river, as we witnessed during the time of Ezo River. But that's by the way. We need to protect our environment, because if you don't protect our environment, you will suffer for it in many areas. Some of these diseases we contaminate from time to time. It's as a result of not keeping our environment safe. And we can go on and preach the issue of environment. We thank God Almighty for a day like this, for us to be here to talk about politics, to talk about our nation, to talk about things happening, social issues, and even political, economical. We are back here in our sanctuary to profess the truth, not the way it will please you. You're welcome.
Please, can I add something? Let me add something,
sure.
because for Anambra, I'm particular about Anambra State because in the past 4 years, I do not know what we basically did for the environment. Yes, I can agree that under the past Commissioner for Environment in Anambra State, he midwifed the Anambra Environmental Law of 2024, but the implementation was not actually pursued. So now we have a new Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Clem Agui, and he has so much work to do for the environment in Anambra State, because it's no longer news that Anambra had so many environmental challenges, and these challenges are as a result of man-made and natural causes. So in the area of man-made causes, we might not be able to have control over it, but we might do some things to mitigate. But in the area of the man-made things, that's where we expect the Ministry of Environment to come in with policies and think about how they are going to implement the environmental law that we have. I went through the environmental law and I saw some noble provisions there. Maybe many people in Anambra State do not know that. Then some of those noble provisions too, you might try to relate it to the environment to see whether anybody cares about these provisions. Let me give you an instance. If you look at the key provisions of this very law, one area talks about waste management, another area talks about drainage and flood control. There's an area that talks about erosion prevention, wastewater and sewage management, green areas and landscaping. You talk about street trading, open defecation, public nuisance, then mechanical workshop, car washes. And now let me just begin with the mechanical workshop and car washes. Now, this law provides that open mechanical workshops and businesses that pollute the environment or lack proper drainage system are being targeted for enforcement. That's why the commissioner is saying that they're going to move around to look at the mechanical workshop we have, to know those who are operating with a fence or not. They said if you have a mechanical workshop in the city, in the urban area, it must be fenced so that it doesn't deface the state. Then talk about the area of car wash. They said car wash operators without approved drainage facilities might face sanction. Now look around and see the kind of car washes we have. How do they wash? Oh, in Samoto, million up and main road, and nobody cares. Then let's look at the area of street trading. It's there in the law that the law, bans street trading on major roads. It's prohibited. Open defecation is prohibited. Even urinating in public places, it's also an offense under this very law. Then you talk about the area of wastewater and sewage management. This is another area that, when I came to Onitsha, I saw that it's a different thing altogether.
Hotels have their wastewater entering the road.
I said it's a different thing altogether here in Onitsha compared to what is sustainable in Oka. And I saw that what is sustainable in Onitsha is that anybody who builds who erects a building channels almost all the water in that building into one small gutter or what have you, one small gutter or drainage system. And once you come around there, most of the time, because now the gutters are not well built, just the places I have seen, this is the practice. But under this very law, you cannot do that. The environmental officers can come to your house, flag your house, and you get to pay fine, and you must be forced to reverse that. But that has been the system we have here. So for the commission, I think it has a whole lot to do. Then the provision on the provision that talks about whereby property owners are required to maintain green spaces through grassing and tree planting. Can we still get that? And they are saying that failure to comply with this can lead to fines and what have you not. There's also provision that if you are doing a building, they're supposed to have some catchment in that premises, so that it will help in controlling flood water. Can we get that to implement this? But let's see how he can start with small things. Let's even start with waste disposal, whereby hospitals, markets, businesses will be mandated to have waste bin. Water, next thing you fling the nylon through through the window of the vehicle, or man water, bottle water, you fling it. This very morning, I was looking around Lincoln Road. Got an Ajajula everywhere. And when you look at the gutters, it's now full sachet water, enough full bottles, all inside that very gutter. So I do not know where he's going to start, but he has enormous work to do if he's going to reform the environmental system in Anambra State. I'm talking about the Commissioner for Environment.
All right, and we're going to tell you what the front pages of the papers say. There's a lot to be talked about today. By the way, the Anambra State Ministry of Women Affairs is still handling the case of the girl who was abused by 8 men, a 16-year-old girl who was abused by 8 men. And of course, this is day what now? 20, since the children were kidnapped in Oyo State. And we understand that some were also kidnapped in Borno State. We'd make sense of all of those on today's edition of the Polity. And on our desk this morning, some of the stories on our desk this morning include on the front page of the Tribune, Vanguard, Punch, and The Guardian. On the Tribune, State Police Constitutional Framework near completion. That's from Presidency on page 3. Afenifere demands its immediate creation. That's a rider to that story. Oyebanji signs 2 new laws as Assembly marks 3rd anniversary on page 3. Gunmen shoot Oshunakot chairman. Please begin probe on page 22. Court remands Ekiti local government area vice chairman for alleged self-kidnap to raise funds. That's on page 12. When I saw that story, I was, for the want of a better word, I was muzzed.
It happened in Imo State too. It happened in
a local government chairman or
deputy local government chairman.
I don't. Is there something wrong with that office in Ekiti? Also a deputy. And why are you faking your own kidnap? Now, imagine if a person can fake their own kidnap, they are no different from kidnappers.
You know, I don't know what has happened to us as humans. That should be about 3 months ago. That's one that was reported in Asaba, where 2 persons connived that they were kidnapped. Okay, the lady in question, wanted money to have a grand wedding, and she went and borrowed money for a grand wedding. After the wedding, she couldn't pay up. She now teamed up with somebody to fake kidnap so that money was going to come from the parents. So this is the kind of things we do see, and I was just wondering why we have become so depraved that we can toy with anything, we can fake anything just because we want to make ends meet.
It's sad. 2027, we want to see credible election in Nigeria. British High Commissioner tells APC chairman on page 21. Unite Against Terror, that's hashtag there. FG rallies citizens, media, security agencies in United Front Against Terrorism on page 10. Minority leader race, reps in rowdy session over alleged signature forgery. Find that on page 21. Dangote refinery ramps up 700,000 barrels per day. Strengthens Africa's energy landscape on page 5. And on page 3, how security agents fought plot to bomb Ondo government house. That's from Aye Datiwa. On the health column, scientists find potential cure for chronic hepatitis B. That's on page 23.
Okay, so to Vanguard newspaper, the big story there says FG vows to crush kidnappers, rescue pupils in Oyo Borno. On page 5 of Vanguard newspaper, the riders launches offensive against terrorism, kidnapping others, says no child belongs in captivity. 386 terror convictions secured, 500 suspects facing trial, it reveals. Article lectures Tinubu over failure to learn from terrorist attacks. Again, candidates write SSCE at night, parents lament. I saw that yesterday. The papers began around 7:30 p.m. And I'm just wondering, at this era when we have kidnappers and abductors coming to schools to kidnap students.
It happened last year.
And we are writing an exam in the night. The first time I had that experience was in 2005 in River State, when we came out to write an exam in the morning, and we were left to stay there till 6 p.m. to report that we were asked to go and buy candles just to sit for UTME. Then it was Ume then. So it's quite sad. This one says that UN demands immediate release of abducted Nigerian pupils teachers on page 4. State Police, Presidency, NAS, IGP fine-tune framework on page 6. Ugochinyer's minority leader nomination. G60 lawmaker dismissed forgery allegation on page 9. I do not know what happened actually. We always saw Abese saying that he did not endorse the nomination of Ugochinyere to serve as the minority leader of the House of Reps. And we have seen allegations flying here and there. Allegations of people being bribed with as much as $50,000 for such nomination. But I'm just wondering, where can they get them that kind of money to bribe lawmakers so that they can endorse Ugochinyere to become the minority leader of the House?
They might have sponsors.
And guess what? I saw a purported CCTV footage showing where the Abwese, gave his endorsement. But from what happened on the floor of the House, he said his signature was forged. So let's see if the House is going to order a probe into that to find out if actually his signature was was forged, or he was just raising a false alarm. This one says CBN unveils new FX guidelines, approves cash movement of $50,000 on page 19 of Vanguard newspaper. Dangote refinery ramps up to 700,000 barrels per day, strengthening Africa's energy landscape on page 19. Obito youths, don't expect Adeboye to change. Okay. Don't expect Adeboye to champion change at 84. That story is on page 9. 2027, only Jonathan can speak on his political future. Ex-president camp insists on page 2. I do not know why they are playing Kalo with this man. And he has maintained is that a dignified silence that he hasn't spoken whether he's in or out?
I don't think it's a dignified silence. I like to think that a man of Jonathan's standing should be able to say, stop this madness. I am not a part of it, unless there are things that we are yet to hear of.
Okay.
All right, then. Let's go over to the next paper on our desk this morning. And, of course, let's see what the Vanguard says now. On the banner headline here, FG vows to crush kidnappers. Oh, yeah, on the Guardian now. The banner headline here is World Environment Day, How Abuses, Poor Regulations Fuel Health Crisis, Economic Losses on page 6. Nigeria finishes 5th and South Africa leads top performing African countries. On page 3, FG screens 400 Nigerians for repatriation from South Africa. On page 4, anxiety grows over insecurity as FG ramps up rescue operations. On page 6, NERC orders discos to compensate Band-Aid customers over power supply shortfalls. On page 30. Are they the only ones affected? The average Nigerian is experiencing power supply shortfall. What's with this Band-Aid thing?
No, the thing with the Band-Aid.
What is it?
I get it. Okay, so no, the thing with Band-Aid is that people who are on Band-Aid, they pay more than any other customer. They pay 206 naira per kilowatt of energy. And they are paying that because it's called cost reflective tariff. And the arrangement is that they are going to enjoy power for between 18 to 20 hours in a day. That's why they are going to pay as high as that. But those who are on Band B to Band E, they are not paying as high as that. So for the fact that government has failed to maintain that 18 to 20 hours of supply in a day, so they're not saying that it's not unjustified for people to be paying that 206 naira per kilowatt hour.
I'm again going to ask the same question I asked earlier. Nations that have power sorted, they chop winch.
Not be said the chop winch. Not be said the chop winch now. The thing is, Nigeria has been held down for a long time by forces who do not want the country to progress.
Because they want to import generator.
I don't know whether it's because of that or anything, because solving power issue is not that big. Yes, it's going to require big amount of money because power not be child's play. But if we are actually serious, if we want to do it on an incremental basis, let's say we have a target that in the next 2 years we're going to add 2,000 megawatts. Do it over 10 years. You see what you'll be able to achieve. But the fact is that we have spent money in this sector with no result. We talk about the one we did under Obasanjo, and then under Buhari, we had agreement with the Siemens to help us to do turnaround, but we have not seen that turnaround. And guess what? If you do your research, you will see that Nigeria has an installed capacity power of about 13,000 megawatts. But guess what? If we generate 7,000, we can't even We can't even transmit more than 5,000 because of poor infrastructure.
Well,
it's pathetic.
Well, the thing is, I've said it many times that we are where we are because of lack of visionary leaders. And if you look at power dams we have in this country, the ones that we are either created or brought on board in many years back, in 70s, in 60s, that we are still using right now, even before independent. What have we added? Nothing. Refineries, we are talking about being moribund. Refineries built many years, some like 30 something years ago. What have we brought on board? Nothing. And we are looking at the population, the growth. We have no plan for our population growth. That's why we are unknowingly bringing bandits, terrorists, because at the end of the day, they have nothing to do apart from those that are so much ideologically based and those with mission. What about ordinary kidnappers around the middle belt, southeast, and what have you? The point is, we lack good leaders. Let's put it that way, because that's why we are where we are. About Chiroro Dam, Kainji Dam, and some of these dams, check their years. Since 1999 to date, tell me if we have brought any new dam. And now we are looking at diversifying energy generation. You have renewable energy or renewable energy, of course, with no issue of solar and what have you. We also have coal. What happens using coal to generate power? The truth remains that our leaders, they don't think about us. They think about themselves, and that's why they will stay, or they have houses outside the country. Their original home is not Nigeria. They are here to make money, to do business, to mortgage the future of these people. Then they go back and then enjoy their lives. Their children, their wards, school abroad, live abroad, own properties. They are here to make the country worse and enjoy a good life out there. That's exactly what we have, what it takes to say no to this anomaly. It is something that we should find a way to stop. Many of them are consigned living abroad. They are not here with us. They are here because of politics. They make money. Look at somebody who was Minister of Power. Just to revive a dam built many years ago, he diverted the money into his private pocket. And today we are talking about his imprisonment. And we are told that he has been in prison for 7 years, but we know how many he's going to spend there. He said it today, we are talking about it. And he feels no remorse. Many properties traced to his name. Malami, as we speak now, is warming up to contest for gubernatorial election. And one thing about Nigerians is that they are so emotional. If Malami joins NDC now, it becomes a saint. Everybody will seem to forget about his atrocities during the time of El-Rufai, when he was raging. Things were said about him. Now he's being judged based on the party. He is. We are very hypocritical as humans. That is what we are. We are all hypocrites. We don't even have any conscience to condemn evil because he's here or because he's not here. We judge people because of where they are. That is wrong. The truth I've said many times is that the crop of leadership we have now will not take us anywhere. Take it or leave it. They will not take us anywhere.
All right then. Let's go over to the next paper, Frank.
Okay, so the next one we have here is hold on. Okay, so the paper we have now to look at is the Punch newspaper, and the big story there says Oyo Borno abductions, tough terrain, casualty fears, store rescue mission on page 2. Did you see an old man that the video trended yesterday saying that they should allow him to go to the bush and rescue them? I was watching the old man. I don't know what actually was motivating him that they should allow him. Then another one is Sunday Boho. Sunday Boho spoke yesterday, said that if care is not taking him, he's going to name politicians who are behind the abduction. And
why?
The article's aide has told him name them, and he's saying police should invite him for him to spill what he knows. I do not know whether he was playing to the gallery, the normal talk of somebody who wants to be recognized. He said he spoke to the governor for your state asking that he should be allowed with his boys to go into the bush, rescue the kidnapped people, and then flush out the demons in the bush. But the government didn't allow him. So I do not know whether he was speaking to fact or he was just speaking because he wants his security outfit to be recognized and given a job
contract
in that very state. Then this one says Dangote refinery ramps up to 700,000 barrels per day, strengthening Africa's energy landscape. Power outages, NEC orders compensation for Band A customers on page 28. 2027, INEC voids primaries held after May 30 on page 41. I think it's a warning coming from INEC that in as much as the court ruled that it overstepped its bound in giving regulations in respect to how parties are going to go about their activities before the 2027 general election, that parties should stick to the guideline not so far, pending when the appeal court deliver judgments on the pending case. FG debt repayment exceed budget allocation by nearly 2 trillion naira on page 27. And that should be the last story because the front page has a commercial advertorial. One is talking about remembering Prophet TB Joshua, and there's another one there too. So these are the headlines we have on the front page of Punch newspaper.
All right then, Tony, right before we dive into some of the matters on the front page, which include state police constitutional framework nearing completion by the presidency, also FG vowing to crush kidnappers and rescue pupils in Oyo State and Borno, and again that report about how abuses and power regulation are fueling health crisis and economic losses in Nigeria. I'd like to know if you saw the video of the boy or the man who came to cry out about the arrest of a boy who was alleged to have been one of the persons that shared that mutilated AI video of President Tinubu allegedly saying some really awful things. And the fact that Bayo Nonuga also tweeted, or rather posted on his X platform, that the boy has been arrested. What's his name now? Frank, what's
one Dennis, Dennis, I'm trying to remember his name. One
exactly.
Dennis,
yes, a Dennis boy
yes.
was picked up. And so I am curious to find out if somebody shares a fake news, where is it in the law that the DSS is used to pick the person up? I mean, isn't that ordinarily supposed to be a civil matter where the person who alleges to have been defamed sues the person and it goes through a legal process? What exactly is the duty of the DSS for them to be used now to pick people who spread fake news?
Well, we have seen something like this before. Remember when Omoyele Chowere called Mr. President all sort of names? Remember, the case was prosecuted by DSX, and they made a claim that they have prosecutorial power over that issue because you are talking about president not as a person, but as a president, the office involved. That Mr. President is not a private person, he's a public person. So when you defame him, you are not defaming him as a person. You are defaming the institution of the presidency, the seat he occupies. That is the basis upon which DSS actually took up that very case. And they made that very statement in the court, that they have a duty to protect the office of the president in all its ramifications. And having such duty, any statement, any act deemed to undermine that office, it falls within their jurisdiction. Having said that, we know very well that apart from issue of gathering intelligence, accounting intelligence, protecting top government officials, which include the president, the vice president, governors, and visiting foreign leaders, and all that, and then even issue of spying, sabotage of critical national infrastructure, and any form of security threat or security breach, they have jurisdictional and of course prosecutorial power in all of this. But interestingly, many Nigerians believe that if you can trace this young man, I think he bears Igbo name, that mutilated
Ifechukwu
Dennis, that use AI to generate Mr. President's voice and also superintend it on video made by very dark man Martin Ose. The way and manner the police traced him in conjunction with DSS. People are saying, but we have these bandits on TikTok displaying their wealth. Yesterday, we talked about a bandit who made a threat against Mr. President. And the bandit said that they are going to pick up Mr. President if he doesn't pay $50 million. Now, people are worried if this Ifechuku Dennis can easily be picked for making such criminal package. That's what I say, because it's criminal, because for you to clone somebody's voice, use it to spread false message for the sake of mischief, false information, that is propaganda.
He is not the originator of that video. He wasn't the one that made it. He only shared it.
If he shared it, he could as well say where he got it from. But that's by the way, because by the time he gets to answer questions about that, he will find out more. He may make more confessional statements. But that's by the way. I'm talking about what about the bandits? Yesterday, and I said it was trending on X. What about the bandits? One of them on TikTok said that they would pick up Mr. President, that they are coming for him. Can DSS go after these bandits who are making these statements on TikTok? Can they go after them? And if you look at what the bandits did, we are displaying the money they made through ransom, saying that they are giving or they are doing giveaway. And many Nigerians that have caused them, called them names, are also bringing their account forward. This will tell you how hypocritical they are. On one end, you are blaming us, cursing us. On the other end, you are forwarding your accounts for us to do giveaway. It tells you a whole lot. But we must see national security as something that should be everybody's business. Nobody will encourage such a young person to do that kind of thing. There is limit to everything. But I'm saying that DSS goes after those bandits who are making certain displays on TikTok the way you went after this boy. I'm not against the way they went after the boy. Meanwhile, you shouldn't have done it in the first instance. You shouldn't have shared what you are not sure of. Not because everybody's sharing anything, and then there is level of joke you can take beyond certain level. But I am saying the effort, the zeal they put in arresting this boy, they should also put the zeal in arresting these bandits who are on TikTok.
Okay, so let me bring up this before the question, because on that same issue, yesterday, Bayo Nanuga posted, he made two posts regarding two arrests that were made. One is the Ifechuku Dennis, who was arrested in connection with the AI clone voice of Mr. President. Then another one is somebody who raised a false alarm of security breach in Abuja. So he posted these two things yesterday, saying that they were arrested. Now, if you go through the comment section of those two posts, Nigerians were asking the same question that Tony just asked. Okay, government being so sweet to arrest these very people, whereas the issue of insecurity that has been there for a long time, nobody's doing anything. But back to what Isom said, because I watched the video of Femi Unfiltered, who said that he was the one that did all the investigation and was able to trace down to one Taiwo and this Ifechuku Dennis. Now, he said he missed the very first video, identifying Ifechuku Dennis as the person who generated the video. But later, he made a second video clarifying that he wasn't the one, rather he only shared it. That the person that generated the video is someone else. Now, eventually, government went to pick up Ifechuku Dennis. And now the question is there issue of a possible lack of diligence and accountability in this whole saga? Because one, Bayo Nanuga accused VDM wrongly of being the one behind the video, and VDM went all the ranting, said he was going to come to Nigeria, let them come and arrest him or what have you not. We were thinking that he was going to apologize, that he goofed. He didn't apologize. Rather, he doubled down. And this time around, he now posted to gloat that somebody has been arrested. Now, the first question is, DSS that went to arrest this Ifechuku, on what intel did they act on? Did they act on the intel provided by the tech guy, the Femi, who made a video? Or if they did their own private investigation to narrow down on the person who was arrested? Don't forget that from what Femi said, he said that he narrowed down to Ifechukwu Dennis as somebody who shared the video. He also mentioned one Taiwo Peters, who also shared the same video. Now, Taiwo Peters later apologized, but one person has been arrested. Taiwo Peters is not arrested for the same offense, and people are now asking, on what basis? So, is there a kind of justice in this whole thing?
I think there are people that are very well the targets from the look of things, because Taiwo Peters apologized. Probably Ifechukwu did not apologize, but that is not basis for justice. Just like I said earlier on, if you go by what we have in our laws, we have National Security Agencies Act, Cap N74, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. If you go under Section 2, subsection 3, the DSS is charged with, apart from prevention and detection of crimes against the internal security of Nigeria, and also the protection and preservation of all non-military classified matters concerning the internal security of Nigeria and such other responsibilities affecting internal security as the President or National Assembly may direct. In this case, they are looking at it from the angle of the prevention and detection of crime against internal security of Nigeria. And if you go by law, when you are being asked what are those things that could affect internal security, and you can possibly see that any threats of violence or incitement to public disorder, false information that authorities believe could endanger national security. And that's the angle they're coming for on this one. They believe that this one is a false information that they believe that could endanger national security. They are part of detecting and preventing crimes against national security. That's where they're coming from. Under the National Security Agencies Act, just like I mentioned earlier on, Cap 74, N74, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, having established that they have powers to go for this boy, the way and manner they have gone about that. But the question is, what about Taiwo Peters? We said the same thing yesterday on the
What about the bandits who are steady making videos?
That's what I'm saying. I'm coming to that because I've said it earlier on. We are here yesterday when we talked about Larry Olainka. Two persons, and both of them were conspirators and at the same time allegedly committed the same crime. Accessing INEC database illegally and at the same time sharing SEM. It was Larry that shared it. Then the person who provided the information to him was arrested. The person who shared it did not, in fact, was not even arrested. He was just questioned. Now, if Larry Olainka committed crime of sharing false information of which he had no access to, why would Ifechukwu Dennis, who also shared a similar information which is believed to be false, completely false? You know, one has to do with, you don't have access to this. It's a classified information which you shouldn't have ordinarily have access to. And sharing it, having access to it is a crime. The other one, maybe improvising a fake and false information. And he said he wasn't even the one that improvised it. He was not the one that put them together, but he shared. Where is justice? There were two who shared it. One from Southeast, arrested. One from Southwest, not arrested. That's not justice for me.
All right. Quickly,
okay, so this is the video which was made by Femi. Femi is the IT guy who said that he did the investigation to trace the origin of the video. So this is what he has to say, so that we'll not know what is happening.
Very big update on the case of this very dark man's video. So I made a video and I traced down some couple of people that I thought made the video. I got one person, Peter Taiwo, then I got Ifechukwu Dennis, and that video went viral. I'm just so yesterday, Ifechukwu Dennis' family reached out to me that some unknown men came to his workplace and arrested him, and so I sent a lawyer to DSS office in Abuja today to confirm the arrest, because I don't want to make any video without actually confirming that truly it was DSS Abuja that picked him up. Only for me to somebody sent it to me now that Bayo Onanuga, that's the spokesperson of the president, just put up a press conference that, and I'll put it on this video, that Ifechukwu Dennis has been arrested by the DSS. So, and I'm seeing my video just underneath it. I'm the one who did the investigation. You should reach out to me. Like, why would you arrest a young man without understanding the full details? And the video that you used there, I said it in the video. I've made follow-up videos. At least reach out to me. I did the investigation. So his family has been on phone with me. I've sent money to lawyers to go to DSS, and tomorrow I'm going to be paying lawyer to go to DSS office again. We will bail him out. But like, why won't you reach out to me? I did the work. So I did an investigation. I brought somebody out, and you go and pick the person up without even listening to the full video, because in the full video I've done further investigation that he is not the one. Of course, we can punish him for spreading false news, but he's not the one who created the video. And Bayo Nanuga again posted that he's the one who made the video. He didn't make the video. He didn't make the video, right? I'm going to be, making more videos about this, because I've spoken to his mom, I've spoken to his wife, I've spoken to people in his family yesterday. I didn't make the video because I just didn't want to come here and say DSS arrested somebody without confirming. So I paid the lawyer today to go to DSS office. But why would you go and pick somebody up? You guys didn't do the investigation. I did. Why didn't you reach out to me? My handle is everywhere. My email is everywhere. My phone number is everywhere. Why didn't you reach out to me? So I'm not going to let it slide, because again, Bayo Onaluga, the spokesperson to the president, you cannot just arrest people like that. Okay, he spread the video, but then you went out and posted that he made the video. How did you know that? I did the investigation. You guys didn't. So I'm going to be making more videos. I've been talking to his family. This guy can be punished for spreading it, but don't put it on him that he made the video. He did not make the video. He did not.
Okay, so that's it about that, and we are hoping that in the coming days justice is eventually served, and we stop abusing certain offices. I mean, we have children to be rescued in Borno, in Oyo State, and the DSS is being used to pick up people for sharing doctored videos. Something we need to do something meaningful with at times and the offices. Tony, give me a second. Quickly, there's so much to handle, and we have barely 20 minutes or 25 minutes to get done. We understand that Anambra State government is set to arraign 8 fake pastors today. 8 fake pastors. We await details of that report because we don't have names yet. But, I mean, it was just shared a few minutes ago by media aid to the governor. Also, let's quickly rush over to some of the matters dominating the headlines this morning. According to this report, State Police Constitutional Framework near completion. That's what the presidency is saying. Now, we understand that after months of consultations involving the presidency, the National Assembly, and security agencies, a constitutional amendment is expected to provide the legal framework for decentralized policing. We also understand it has gained momentum due to persistent insecurity. We have kidnapping topping the list, banditry, insurgency, and the president has repeatedly urged the National Assembly to amend the constitution to accommodate state police. And again, quickly, because I know that you are a big believer in the idea of state policing, and you believe that it is going to improve local intelligence and, of course, response being rapid and create another layer of extra security. And so I'm not going to waste time trying to find out if you actually believe in that. However, a few concerns have been raised in terms of recruitment, training, funding, most importantly. We have security fund, some states get as much as 12 billion every year, and we don't understand what is being done with the money. And so how do we, find a way to fund? And so we do not have a deficient system where we have officials who are malnourished. By malnourished now, I mean, the remuneration not being anything to write home about and creating an extra layer of problem. And of course, we also have the issue of abuse in some local security outfits that have been formed in several states. I'll give you an instance. Yesterday night, Agune Chimba also came on the spotlight because somewhere around GRA here, a boy was manhandled. As a matter of fact, his lips were broken in the fracas. According to him, it was because he was riding an electric bike at night, and I wouldn't know how it eventually panned out, and they had a disagreement, and the men of Agone Chamber pounced on him. They beat him up, shot at the bike, and we still are waiting for detailed report on what exactly happened, and of course hoping that security officials get to also swoop in and do a proper investigation. But the issue of abuse have headlined some of the concerns raised funding, recruitment, and training.
Well, let's talk about the issue of state police, because I have been not just a strong advocate or strong supporter of state police for nothing, but because I see it as one of the ways we can combat insecurity in this country. And I've said it many times that there are those who are either moving from Sahel region just to conquer and occupy some of us. And we know the story, we know the history. Having said that, remember when Nigeria gained independence, Nigeria had regional police force. From 1960 to 1966, Nigeria operated regional police force along local police, not just regional, along local police in some what we believe to be the local governments. Then we had regions. In these regions, we had local governments. Some local governments had the local police, not under the command of the central government. The regional police we had then was not under the command of the central government. We had security then. The same land space, the same space, well secured, well fortified. What happened? It was after the military took over in 1966. The regional police forces were abolished and policing became centralized under the federal government. And if you look at the moment police was centralized, we started having insecurity. During the time we had regional police, nobody was talking about abuses. Nobody was talking about, because the community took ownership. Local government took ownership. Then the issue of modern agitation for state police, in fact, began in the late 80s and 90s. Because of what? Insecurity started spreading. Population was growing. The economy was deteriorating. People were losing shops, values. Naira being devalued more. Shops, manufacturing firms closing. Unemployment rising. These things also aided criminalities everywhere. And the agitation started. The agitation for state police has been ongoing for nearly how many? Check, from 1966 it was abolished till date. You can imagine. Immediately military took over, they could not even provide security as against what we had before. We have had number of conferences. I remember the 1995 political conference. Each of state police was established in that conference, the one put together by Abacha. 2005 National Political Reform Conference, the one chaired by Nikki Toby, former Justice of the Supreme Court. And I remember supplications made by different personalities, even Victor Malu, who was then retired from military. It was agreed that state police, even local government police, we take on. But remember then, we never had insecurity as we are currently experiencing. Then fast forward to 2014 National Conference. Delegates from all over the country recommended the same curation. Even the proposal even gained unsuspected and unprecedented momentum when the governors and state assemblies all committed to that, because the president put it and it was all accepted. The president, because I remember during the time of Buhari, he completely said no to state police because he was part of the military hierarchy. As at that time, they were the one that abolished it, even when it was favoring the country. But they felt that if the state had the state police, then it could aid succession. That is myopic. Yes, Southeast had state police. Were they able to succeed? Yes, there were agitations. Even now, we don't even have state police. There are still agitations for secession. It tells you that it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing. The president has backed it, there's no doubt, but he has not shown more commitment. He has not shown more pragmatism. He has not shown... this thing seems to be on paper, seems to be academic. We cannot in any way de-emphasize the importance of what we had before. We had it before. Why did we abolish it?
Tony, can I come in here? I think we have spoken so much about state police from Nigerians and also from people who are in government. And what Femi Bajabamila said yesterday is that they are close to making an amendment to the 1999 Constitution for this to come into being. That means that we might have another 2 to 3 months to wait for before this amendment is made. Though they said it's imminent, but we know that when we say it's imminent, we are yet to cross our T's and dot our I's. Now, where I'm going to is what I think has been the confusion in the minds of some Nigerians, because I can recall sometime when we had this very conversation, somebody called to make a comment that suggested that people don't actually understand what this very state police entails, which I think we need to do education on this. Now, if you look at the arguments in favor of state police, people who are in support have said that it's going to have to improve community policing, it's going to have, enable quicker response to local security challenges, it's going to have to increase accountability to residents. They're also arguing that it's going to have to reduce pressure on the federal police and at the same time help states to tackle crimes such as kidnapping, armed robbery, quality issues, and other kind of crimes. These are the arguments in favor. Then those who are against this very state police, they are on the side that governors could misuse state police against political opponents. That has been their biggest argument. And the argument is that they are saying that where their state might have better equipped police forces than the poorer states. There's also an argument that there could be conflict between federal and state police authorities. We have seen that even between the police and the military. We have seen that. Then there's also an argument about ethnic and political bias, which could affect policing in some areas. Now, in this area of ethnic and political bias, they are saying that for the fact that the personnel are going to be recruited from the state, that the issue of interest might begin to clash. Maybe somebody knows of a crime that his brother or sister is involved in, he might tend to cover it. But Tony, let's go to that basic education. When we talk about this state police, what does it involve? What is it like? Is it like the state-backed security outfit we are seeing? Anambra has a gun chamber. If you go to the southwest, most of the state there they have a Motekun. If you go to Enugu State, they have neighborhood watch. If you go to Imo State, they have I think a bag where they have there. So some states have already developed a state-backed security outfit, but it's not state police. So what is different between state police and the state-backed security outfit you have, so that people get to understand the idea of this state police?
And if I may add, the challenges already experienced with these state-backed security challenges, is there any guarantee that with state policing it's going to be better?
Now, if you look around, we know why corruption, ineptitude, rot in the policing system is the way they are. And I've said it many times: lack of monitoring, lack of evaluation, lack of audits. You send people out to police a space, you don't monitor them, you don't even check how they do it, and nobody cares. And if you dare approach them to tell them they're not doing it rightly, they will tell you, who are you? We can only listen to one person, Inspector General of Police. He's the only one we can listen. In fact, they have told so many governors. Sanwo-Olu was told the same thing. And there was a time Obiano was there, he was also told the same thing, that they cannot take orders from him, and they can only take orders from IGP on matters relating to a state. But that's by the way. And then if you look around, the difference between likes of Aguna Chamber and police, in terms of weapon, in terms of training, in terms of organization, in terms of prosecution.
So you genuinely think that with state policing, we're going to have these things better sorted?
I have said the kind of state police we're talking about. I don't want to just call it state police. State, local, and town police.
But if the federal policing system is lacking in these things that you have pointed out, which by the way they are, what is the guarantee that with state police it won't be lacking as well?
Because you must make the people to take ownership. The federal policing we have now, people do not take ownership. They don't have a say. They don't have a say. If people take ownership, they will have a say.
This is where I'm coming from, Tony. Okay. Forgive me. If they haven't trained federal police officers well, if their ineptitude has not been controlled, if things like the body cam that you have championed for quite a while now, the federal police has not been able to have that incorporated, and then we are coming to local policing. How do we step it down? So much. I understand everything you have said, and I totally concur. I quite agree. However, these challenges we experience with the federal police, do you not see them being replicated?
It depends on the force and momentum we are starting with. If we are starting with the force and zeal,
Who's going to fund it?
Yes, the states, of course. I have said it many times. The body worn camera, they are not as expensive as we think. They are not as expensive as the weapons that they carry. And I've said it many times that we must have a way of monitoring these people. And apart from that, we are talking about training. Look at the people we have around our connection, but many of them, I'm not sure if many of them score secondary school. They don't even know the law that even established what the work they do. They don't even know their do's and don'ts. But that's not the kind of people we'll be looking forward to.
Tony, the people we have in these state-backed security outfits.
Yeah.
What is different between them and some personnel in the police force? Because we also see people who are personnel police force who don't even know the laws.
That's what I'm saying. In fact, if you look at the police force, they had police training colleges where it was supposed that they were put there for training, formal training process, and yet they don't even know the law. The Agone Chamber people, they did not pass through such formal trainings, series, and they don't know the law. So you find out it's a mix-up. Here, we must set the standard right. What are the kind of people we want if we begin state police? The minimum qualification we may say will be OND. OND. That's the minimum qualification, not SSCE. OND. And we must also say that you must not be of corrupt tendency. Not because the people, the public, the society usually push the bad ones to the policing. No. And the welfare will be attractive. You don't pay them 30,000, you don't pay them 90,000. Situation where we set up state police. And situations, once we are doing that, like Anambra State, we said we are going to do that. Yes, we have security trust fund. We have security trust fund where stakeholders, individuals, and many organizations pay into for the sustenance of security. And we say that for BSc holders who are going to be members of the state police, we're going to start with 350,000. For OND holders, we are going to start with 200,000. And the screening will be rigorous.
Yeah, okay. Are you speaking hypothetically?
I'm speaking hypothetically.
Okay, because we're speaking to our reality here in the country.
No, I'm speaking hypothetically, and it's doable. Why I said it's doable is this. If you have a police force or a police system where the salary, if you commit, let's be honest, if you commit 1 billion every month to salary payment of these security forces, it's not too big. If we commit just 1 billion to their welfare and salary every month, for us to have security, it is not too much. And situations whereby the state government will not do it alone, the local government will bring in their own parts. Communities, they have association. In my hometown, we have Osumo Development Union, ODU, and we have 179 community associations, where they are also expected to commit little to such development, and we commit 1 billion every month to their welfare and salary. And we must also ensure equipment and training. My dear, it's not too much. And if you trickle it down, at the end of the day, you see that they may have something meaningful to go home with. And we're the best brain, not in the Kaikai and the Igbo. People that smoke weed from money. If you trace your blood sample and you're a drug addict, you cannot be a member of social security we are talking about. Because in fact, these things should not be announced.
Tony,
but there will be a strict training and situations where they can be taken outside the country.
Tony, I love the entire idea. It's beginning to I don't know if it's the paranoia that comes from the Nigerian system that I have lived. But it's beginning to sound like Sugar Candy Mountain of Animal Farm to me, honestly.
But it's doable.
It's doable. Let's move on to other matters. It's doable.
Just please, before you move on, I have some gray areas that we need to iron out, because as we are talking about this, since we're trying to also help to improve on what could be explored, because now we're talking about state police, like it's like a done deal that every state is in support. But now, if you look at if we have state police now, what it simply means that every state has its own police, and is going to establish its own fund and has its own police service commission. which is going to be in charge of the discipline and what have you not of the police. And this time around, it's going to be that the governors are going to have greater authority over the state police operations. And then I talked about recruitment. It's going to be whereby we are going to recruit from the state. Like Anambra is going to recruit people from Anambra State to be component of the state police. And then we are going to have officers who are going to focus on crimes and security issues which are specific to the state. Then we are still going to have our federal police, which in this very case, what is going to handle is that it's going to handle national security matters, issues of terrorism,
yes, and not related to
interstate crimes, immigration-related issues, and what have you not.
That's the proposal you're reading.
Now, when you talk about the issues we raised, the difference we are going to have in state police and the state-backed security outfit is the issue of difference in training. We are going to have difference in arms they bear. We are going to have difference in investigation, prosecution. In fact, the scope of their responsibility is going to differ.
Yeah.
But the issue of personnel might not differ because, one, these people now who are part of Agone Chamber, let's use a number for instance. If we have state police now, people who are part of Agone Chamber, what happens to them? Are we going to dissolve Agone Chamber and then subsume the members into the police, or we disband them and they go away, having gotten knowledge of the operations of the security?
No. Agone Chamber will still see. When we talk about state police, they are not going to function at the state headquarters. That's the idea some people create. They will be in every local government, where the local government chairman takes charge with the local government security council. They will be in towns, where the towns take charge with the town association. So see, my concern is this: you are talking about
the members of Agone Chamber, for instance. They
will not be qualified.
We're using that as an example.
Agone Chamber, I've interviewed many of them. Many of them
are they going to be eased out?
So how are you going to get the people that will qualify?
Let me say this thing. Agone Chamber, they can also act as local vigilantes. They can easily be. In fact, for me, if I were the governor, they will take charge of our forest. They can be forest guards, but we must have them work together with men and women of the state-created police system. And we know very well that many of them are stark illiterates. They don't know their right and left. They just follow instruction. And at times they violate human rights. The issue of human rights, because the kind of state police we are looking at will be embedded in the core principle of that human rights you must uphold.
Tony, I agree with you.
Yes.
Just let me say something.
Yeah.
We are not new to Nigeria. We have lived in Nigeria for up to
because
30
there is
years.
no monitoring system.
And we have gotten into a system whereby there are noble ideas. But when it comes to
implementation,
that becomes the issue. Because if you are saying that, okay, we are going to have the Agone Chamber, they operate at the grassroots level,
yes,
or take care of the forest.
Yeah.
Tony, the personnel who are going to populate the state police, where are they going to come from? We have national police force that each time there's room for recruitment, nobody gets to join. Because the system has been messed up.
Let me surprise you. When Nigeria sent police team to Liberia, to Congo, for different functions, we had report they never took bribe. The same Nigerian police went to Congo, went to Liberia, went to some of these foreign mission work.
No,
hold on.
I don't think you were saying the same.
I'm coming. I want to make a point.
No, so hold on. Maybe I understand I understand where you're coming from.
Where am I coming from?
You want state police. We agree.
No. Where am I coming from?
Hear me out.
Okay.
You want state police. We agree.
Yeah.
Nobody is contesting.
No, that's not what I'm
nobody's
coming
contesting. Don't need police.
Yeah.
We're talking about now. Let's look at what is going to be the operations. I asked you a question about what happens to Agone Chamber. You said they're not going to be part of it.
Yeah.
They're going to approach from the bushes and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm asking questions. Who are the people who are going to be available for the job, knowing the kind of police we have run this very country? And there's no way.
Yes.
There is no way any governor in Nigeria is going to launch a police force that's going to be different from what we have already.
No.
Frankly, there is no way, based on what we know.
I think you are making extra.
No, based on what we know Nigeria to be, there is no governor who can launch a state police.
You know why? I was actually making a point. You cut it to say you know where I'm coming from, and I was thinking you are going to help me.
I just explained to you because like you were leaving the question to go to another.
No, I'm laying a foundation to the question you asked me. Where are they going to come from? And I'm telling you that we have Nigerian police that have been to different foreign mission operations. They never took bribe. They obeyed human rights. Why were they close to doing that, or why were they able to achieve that? You know why? They were monitored. They wore tags. They wore camera. They were supervised. They did all those things in Congo. They did those things in Liberia. At times, they were approached for bribe. They said no. Why were they saying no? Not because they were sent. Why were they saying no? Not because they were not coming from Nigeria, but they know that we are monitored. Now I'm saying situation why we have rot in the system already is because nobody monitors anybody. And remember, look at the one that killed somebody in Delta State, Worry. If not for camera, nobody would have disciplined him. Some of the disciplinary actions we've had meted against some bad and corrupt police officers were because they were captured in camera. Look at somebody captured in one of the B division in Asaba, where they had POS extorting money because it was in camera. Those police officers were dismissed because they know that they feel so bad if you come to checkpoint to video them. The one that said that he would shoot anybody if you video us while we are at work, he was arrested. Nobody wants to be monitored, my dear Franklin. By the time you introduce a strict monitoring system, especially by use of body worn camera, definitely some of these things will reduce. They may not be completely wiped out.
The ideas are nobody's contesting the ideas. But what I'm telling you is that in Nigeria of today, it's not going to happen. You see, let's not paint this very well. Let's not live in utopian fantasy. Now, let's use Anambra as an example. Yeah. When the governor launched Agone Chamber, we know the glamour.
No, we're not monitored.
Hold on. We know the glamour. We know how he spoke in flowery language of what he's going to bring. And today we have Udogachi. We have Agone Chamber.
We are not monitored.
Are doing the same thing.
I challenge you. Tell me somebody who is being monitored and committing the same thing.
That's what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is
if they are not monitored, if it's something.
Okay, gentlemen, this is the point where I get to.
If they are not monitored, if it's something.
What I'm telling you is this. Yeah. Nobody is saying that we don't need state police. But what I'm telling you is that
they cannot be
the way we're talking about the state police as if they are going to be angels for
no.
It's not.
No, they won't. Unless we do the necessary things.
What we are going to have now is we are going to have police closer to us, but the issues of poor welfare, human rights abuses,
are you going to see
they
that?
are still going to be
there. Or if we introduce those
things, and the question
is,
if they are still going to be there, we have to find a way to take them out of the.
That is it. So we can't be doing the same thing and expect different things.
That's what I'm telling you.
We cannot.
Everybody wants good Nigeria, but who are the people who are going to do that?
See, the truth is that I don't want to say that the whole thing is irredeemable because that's the picture you're trying to paint. I'm saying that if we do the right thing, it's redeemable.
Which I believe we cannot do.
Why not?
We cannot do because we don't have that people who are in power who can do that.
It takes somebody who is see the world we have. If you were in
we
France,
don't have people in power who can do that as we speak now.
Franklin,
we do not have
Franklin, if you were in France when France was rotten, in Spain when Spain was rotten, they were worse than Nigeria.
What I'm telling you now,
and then I think you two understand each other.
As we speak
the
now.
difference is that at the time where France and Spain were rotten, then people came out to say we will engineer the change, we will spearhead it. But look at a country where a local government deputy mayor is staging her own kidnap.
That is just the point. The point is the people we bring in, the people we recruit, and
you know what?
When you don't have monetary audit.
I'm ending this argument.
Have you been able to?
I am ending this argument. Go and get your PVC.
The people who are available for the police job in this country, the people who are available for police job in this country, we know.
The truth is,
the people who are available for the job in this country,
it becomes a last resort for people who do not have anything to do.
Know.
But the truth is, if we actually sanitize the system and make it worth,
it's doable.
A person investing their lives in.
If you make the welfare attractive,
it's possible.
Best brain, you will see PhD holders doing the police work.
All right, gentlemen, we need to.
They cannot make it.
But that's the point.
That's the fact.
We need to open up the phone lines Also, we have the federal government talking tough on how to crush kidnappers, rescue the pupils in Oyo and Borno State. I don't see anything new here other than the fact that we're getting more reassurance, and we're hoping that in the coming days something is going to be really, really done about that. Also, we understand that experts are continuing to warn that weak regulations, poor oversight, inadequate funding, and abuse within Nigeria's healthcare system are contributing to worsening public health outcomes and significant economic losses. Challenges include counterfeit medicines, unregulated healthcare facilities, environmental pollution, poor workplace safety standards, and the migration of health professionals abroad.
Now, I think the state government has made known the names of the fake pastors.
The fake pastors, the 8 of them.
Their names are Peter Chukwu and Prophet Peter Chukwu, Prophet Chinedu Egwonwu, Bishop Emeka Nwamba, Senior Pastor Ebele Nnachukwu, Pastor Ekelem Chris Ugochukwu, Prophet Ndubisi Nnachukwu, and Evangelist Miracle Iruoma, and Pastor Chukwu Kadibia Ogwama. These are the people being arraigned as we speak. They are heading straight to the High Court. They are fake pastors according to the state government. They have been doing, because the way and manner the fake DBS were arraigned, and we all of us cried that we want fake pastors to be arraigned that way. And before now, their names were hidden, and we said no, their names should not be hidden. You must disclose their names the way the fake DBS, their names were. Remember, they are still suspects, allegedly. They are still suspects, allegedly, until proven guilty. That's why they are in court. Based on evidence, the state government has extracted against them based on fake miracle. Remember, Anambra Homeland Security Law is going to apply. Section 18 of that law will be in full force. We are going to follow their trial as the way and manner we followed the fake DBS trial.
And of course, we understand that the trial has actually started. And we were taking a look at what's happening with the medical system and how we have fake drugs, we have poor healthcare regulations, unregulated healthcare facilities fueling a lot of negativities in that industry. We also have healthcare professionals migrating. And so, Tony, I am curious to find out a few things quickly. What the agencies in charge of regulating products are doing in terms of NAFDAC and other agencies that should make sure that counterfeit products are not there in the market. And also, what is the country doing generally to improve the welfare of people working in that industry and the working standards? By that I mean the environment, equipment, and otherwise.
And if you ask me, they have not been doing so much. They have been collecting bribe. And I saw this morning Sasa people at a particular junction. They saw somebody who is a tout. You know what happened? I was watching the exchange money, and I said, were these people not the same people asked to remove Ndaburu? But there was a particular Nyaburu, Nyeriego, or Tienaba. They moved on, you know. And for me, if you send people to go and perform any work in the public without monitoring them, you're wasting your time. The same applies to NAFDAC. The same applies to Standard Organization of Nigeria. Don't expect anything. People, they believe they have violated whatever is because they could not settle them. Once you settle them, once you give them money, you are well and good. You are good to go. But once you don't give them money, you have actually violated certain provisions
and
of the law.
People are constantly dying.
That is the problem. And yesterday I was speaking with an elderly woman. The woman told me, I ate banana. I bought banana on the road and I ate the banana. Since then, the tongues were so heated up. It was having extreme heat, anxiety all around the body. I asked, have you had this sign before? I said, no, since I ate this banana, and then it was discovered that the banana was ripened with carbide. That's also, and this could cause any form of ailment, and nobody is looking at this. And I have said it many times, states should have their own NAFDAC. States should have their Standard Organization of Nigeria. And not just that, you don't set up these agencies without giving them only one camera to supervise their work. Their utterances, whatever they say, why they are at that work must be checked. If you don't have the capacity, don't set it up, because it will be an office for the state officers to start collecting money the way the federal officers are doing. Fake products everywhere, and the state government must go into markets, start closing down shops that have fake material, fake products. It's not about them entering into the market. How they enter, we don't want to know. But they should not be in our market for any reason. So if I go to a mall, if I go to a boyfriend, if I go to a bar, but if I go to electronics market, anything I'm buying there, I will have the belief and confidence I'm buying original product. And situation where fake product was sold to me, a complaint that I will make, that person will go to jail over it. That's the kind of system we want to run.
08032216973, do this in 2 minutes. Good morning. When you're ready to call, please turn on the volume on your radio set. Good morning.
Good morning, my honorable Antonio Desambeki.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Chisom and Franklin. Michael Dugras on the line, calling from the commercial city of Onitsha this beautiful morning. Talking for to the state police. I will thank you, both of you, for making a good analysis this morning. But this is Nigeria, where everything happens. We are talking about using the camera or the police doing the digital work to make sure we get it right. Here, anything goes. Not that we don't have capable hands that we do it. But you cannot tell me that we can get it 100% right. No. We have inferior people here who don't even care. Yes, state police is good, but me, personally, state police is not the best solution. State police will make it worse. To be honest, I think the idea of state police, for me, personally, I do not abide the idea of state police. Then away from that, talking about this fake products. To be honest and share with you this morning, Nigeria, even the state or the government or the people at the top, they are not serious about it. Because when you go to market, you see fake products. You go to different houses, different warehouses, people stay even in their backyard to produce fake products. Even the alcohol we drink is fair. They are ready to do it. It's good, but for now, Nigeria are not ready. Goodbye.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Good morning.
I am Badmos. I'm calling from Unewi.
Badmos, go on.
First of all, let me start by saying that anybody trying to say that security agents or any establishment that is bound to enforce a particular thing should have body camera. Let me remind that person that body camera, based on what I have on my table, is about 3 million naira for you to have a body camera. 3 million. So, are you expecting Soludo government to deploy 3 million naira camera on a tout that they bring out and put him as Onyakodo? Is that what you are implying? 3 million naira, each of them. Do they want that 3 million naira camera that the governor is going to buy and give them?
Okay,
so that they will be using to be
Badmos,
yeah.
Please do not use demeaning statements.
Oh, sorry.
Make
I
your
withdraw
point.
that.
All right.
Now, I want to also ask Tony. He said that he saw Ndiakodo collecting money from doubt. He should provide video evidence, because anytime we come on this radio to complain how people are being intimidated, he will tell us to video it and send it across. So I want to ask Tony to also produce it and send it on this platform so we can watch it and be sure, because I don't believe it. Then finally, on the issue of state police, a state police cannot cure the insecurity we have in this country. It can only help the politicians to embezzle money or to deal with those political opponents. But for them to fight insecurity like the insurgency, state police cannot do anything. We should look for another thing. Thank you.
I think let me quickly say something. That body camera is not 3 million. We have the one of 80,000. In fact, you have different grades. If you want the one of 10 million, you can even get, but you can have the one minimum. You have the one of 50,000. So don't tell us it's 3 million.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Somi, Mr. Tony Sambeki, and Mr. Frank.
Yeah, welcome.
Mario K. Future calling from Monica. Well, I don't blame anybody who is saying that state police will not work, because you have never experienced that before. That is why you think. But if you want to tell yourself the truth, so many governors have complained, I don't have power over this man. What again are you waiting for? As in sometimes you tell yourself the truth. The governor was attacked autumn, the former governor of the Delhi state. And because he is playing politics with the incumbent president, that is why that attack happened. And this thing he has the security in hands, that kind of attack cannot happen. We must tell ourselves the truth. America, Israel, Germany, all it that
Are you there? Hello?
country that you know, they all have even local police. And you yourself that is ravaged with the insecurity, you don't want state police, and you think that they are stupid. Please, people, you show body cameras. My brother, that is another thing that we need in this country. If a policeman knows that somewhere, somehow, somebody is watching me, he will not collect bribe. I am telling you, even you as a worker in that office, if you know that the camera is watching you, you will never make process of your work. So we need monitoring in everything if you want to get it right. Mr. Speaker is 100% right. Please, you shouldn't be lying to yourself always. This is a pure truth. If you like, you take it. If you like, you leave it. Thank you very much.
All right then. Let's hear you. 0803221697. You can drop your comment on Facebook. Good morning.
Morning, Sister Bishop. Morning, Mr. Vicky and the other guy.
Yeah, welcome.
My name is Sunday. I'm calling from Awada.
Go ahead, Sunday.
Mr. Vicky, you are 100% right in your analysis about state police. You know, some of us who were not born during those 60s may not understand what you are saying. But I believe you are a student of history who always go deep into history to know how things were. The issue is that you have made the point clear, and you cannot find any person on duty and expect in the Nigerian system and expect him to do well when nothing is monitoring him or her. So lack of monitoring, number one, has been a problem that can hinder the success on state police. And also you talk about working packages, the welfare of those officers. How can you be paying somebody 300,000 naira or 150,000 US? That person will be so stupid to go for bribery. You know, when you sack him, he will not make it out there. And when you put up a very nice working package, as you have said, graduates will be interested to enroll for employment. So that is that. So all the people who are saying no to that can't, I think look at what people have been saying. Now, a person at the local government level or at the state level may not have authority. And when some things are going wrong, like the federal, if that guy is not in their goal record, they will ignore him. So that is why we agree with you, Dr. Becky. You are right on that page. Thank you.
All right then. 0803221697. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Listen, Dr. Becky and the Franklin. Very good morning to you all. Chidi Chukuma calling from Bo.
Let's hear you.
The issue of state police has been delayed so much. It is overdue. When people are clamoring for something that will help, for some people who don't have the idea, maybe out of ignorance there, they are talking against it. And then insecurity is increasing on daily basis. And our governors are just chief security of the state without any power. Because the federal police, they have shown us that the governor cannot control them. That he can't just give them instruction. That anytime there is issue between them and the governor, they always tell the governor that the order state police. And also, only on this particular regime, I think you have seen the record of federal government denying a state government the protection. When they have withdrawn, we have histories of that. When they withdrawn the police orderly from the government, just because in one way or the other they had issue with the federal government, and they withdrawn the police protection from the government and some other people, and some people are still talking against the state police. Security, I will continue to tell you that is a local, and in other places that we copy the system that we have in this country, they all have a state police, even local government police, and now you are speaking against state police. The issues of security, we need the people who know the terrain, and also who have the love of their people for efficiency and for their accountability. That we need people who are very close to us, who can protect us, and who can give history of their performance to their people out of love and the out of commitment. We have seen the trend from different people who are there to export money from the people from different places, even to kill. And that is why somebody, even this issue of a body camera, how can it work here? Because we seen a person who tell you that if anybody see to him on the duty, that is going to kill everybody around that place. And then we are talking of the business. Whether our police is ready for that body camera, that is another issue for another discussion. Good morning.
All right then. One more call and we head over to Facebook. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
This is Sunday calling from a blog.
Good morning.
The state police is anybody criticizing state police. They don't understand the tiny insecurity we have in Nigeria. To me, 1999, the framers of that constitution put that state police and rotation of president. Abu Salam that time, they get to take it, and that's why they go back and remove it. What he says is that he's going to divide Nigeria. The same story. Today, Nigeria has never divided, but within us here, insecurity are doing us a lot. Now, when you create state police, people are ready to join. Don't forget about who. The moment they create it and come down here, people are ready to come out and join it because it's their own. Many people don't want to join police in a place we post them to Bolonu, post them to Sokoto, post them to where they don't know. But the moment you create state police, our people find out that it's within this Anambra state they will operate, they will join it, and to monitor them will be easy. It cannot tell me to go and monitor police then deploy from Abuja and send it to my village. Because I know anything about police in Anambra will end in Oka. And if I see anyone doing anything wrong, I can transport to Oka and complain. I even write petition. Because I know the people are writing petition. It's my own people. Now, without state police, they can implement all these state law. We have implement open grazing bill. It cannot work because they can't use federal police to go and stop anybody. But the moment you create state police, you make your law, you command your police. They take it. The moment they catch the person, they take him to court. Nobody from Abuja, we ask you to bring the case to Abuja. So please, state police is the way. Thank you.
All right, then let's head over to Facebook now.
No, let me say something. I want to believe that we are not speaking above the head of some person because I'm getting a kind of mixed feelings. I don't think that Nigerians are kicking against the police. I don't think so. And personally, I didn't say that we don't need state police.
There are people that say
that what I'm saying is whether we need state police, yes, but we should not become utopian thinking that once we have state police, everything disappears. No, we are going to have state police. We have these very men, they become closer to the people. Response time becomes shorter. But the issues we are having with the federal police, they will still be there.
Many of them may not.
We live with them and manage them because I do not see leaders we have now doing anything quite different to give us the kind of state police that all of us will want to have. I don't see them doing anything. Where we take security vote from there, governor will go in here. Well, we may train us.
But something,
it's in the security.
You're right. But things get better over time. Just like you said, things get better over time. I remember I have said the story of UK, and I told you about 1981 riots, where during their own time, extrajudicial killing was rife, was common, was everything. Brutality was something else. For police to stop you on the road, the police will first and foremost slap you, smash you down, and ask you, where are you coming from? That was the way it was in UK. And they were doing all manner of things. But in 1984, the game changed. All over the world, body worn camera began to have massive support in 2005. By 2011, by 2013, Kenya, their police do have body worn camera. South Africa, their police have, some of them do have it. Rwanda, you go there, go to Rwanda. Policeman, we are accord you every courtesy and respect and treatment, because you know what? He's wearing body worn camera. In Egypt, the same thing. But here in Nigeria, we say we don't want it. And some people are making false statement that how can they buy something of 3 million and all that. But that's not true. I've said it many times. You can get most of those cameras in large quantity at the rate of 50,000. Yes. But the truth is, we don't want to accept change. Change is difficult. Look at, if you are one of the families being, having their parents, their breadwinners being kidnapped. Many of yours, if we are from Benue Plateau State, where a particular set of militia, according to US report, wants to conquer and dominate. Who do you rely on? You rely on your local intelligence and your local police to say no, to resist it. Why was Borno Empire not captured during the time of jihadists? Why? Because those people from that angle said no. They formed local police against the jihadists. See, I don't need to shout over this. There are people who don't reason. There are people who don't read history. They don't even know where they're coming from. Everything goes for them. Okay. You must defend their land.
All right. This one, Omaga Naman. That's also Francis Namani. He's watching from Amaguns there. Paul Onyeka, thank you for watching from Monicha. Wisdom Peter. Then Jakub Bishop from Accra is asking, when we have state police, what would now become the condition of the federal police? Where would be their jurisdiction? I think we've answered this. Then Amara Michael says so Michael is quarreling that Chisom is asking that people get their PVCs, and he's asking what is the sense of having INEC.
You will keep quarreling
if the person is what's the sense of having INEC if the person,
maybe the person in charge? Are you about to complain about INEC chairman?
Okay, please.
Whatever your case is, my dear.
And you have proven time over time in this statement. Go and get a PVC. People believe that the best way to solve a problem is by abdication. You abdicate, you run away.
No, and keep running now.
The problem will still be there. And you believe that if you are part of the process, you will be shortchanged. Which one is better? Being shortchanged and running away, which one is better? When you run away, you have nothing left. But when you are shortchanged, it means that you have given resistance.
Let me not forget, running away is one by getting your PVC. Now, don't forget to also get involved. Last year, the supposed favorite candidate had over 17,000, if I'm not mistaken, polling units monitored. So you better go get involved.
Apart from that, those people that were elected as a result of the wave, they were there. Was it not the same votes? If you want me, I will mention their names.
Yes, we don't even have that time, frankly.
If we have time, I keep on saying this thing because only the kind of mindset we have developed that sometimes it makes us not to think beyond where we are. Why am I saying this thing? We are last time because each time we make an election here, I'm speaking Igbo, forgive me. Each time we make an election here, everybody will tell you that everything has been rigged. We agree with you that there are challenges. We agree, but what I keep telling to people is this: how do you even vote when you want to? Because we are still going to have an election. Though. People will still go and do top to bottom. Do you get? Now, and you want the 1999 Constitution to be amended, whereby the power to appoint INEC is going to be stripped from the president.
Exactly.
And you were electing all manner of people to go to the assembly, and you want that to be done.
It cannot.
It cannot be done. So you have to think outside what you are thinking now. Know that you have to use another means to change the status quo. let's see go and vote for Mr. A because now only 1,000 or Mr. A is from my town. It's still the same thing we are going to get as a result.
We will keep talking. Hopefully, someday the change will be made.
Yeah.
We are totally out of time. And just to let you know that we're still calling on all relevant security agencies, the Oyo State government, the federal government, those children in captivity in Oyo State, in Borno State, in different parts of the country, they need to be rescued, and they need to be rescued fast. The Polity is going to make a return next week, Monday down to Friday, 9:15 down to 11 a.m. right here. Udala Radio, your seriously authentic dial, 104.7. And of course, thank you, Dr. Tony Becky, for being here. Thank you, Franklin. I am Chisom Chinedu. Now, do not also forget to follow us on social media. Udala Radio, 104.7 FM is our handle.